On today's podcast, we'll be covering staying where you're supposed to be, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Warehouse Safety Tips. If you're a seasoned vodcast viewer, this vodcast is going to be different from most that you watch. It's based around exactly what the name implies, warehouse safety tips. And since the people in this industry are busy, we know that time is money, so each episode will be as short and to the point as possible. And now, with all that out of the way, let's get to the vodcast.
Has anyone ever told you to stay in your own lane? Sometimes it's verbal, other times it might be acted out with sign language. And in the context of warehouses and the other facilities that we mention on this podcast, it's more than likely in the form of signs, floor markings, and/or training. In essence, it's staying where you're supposed to be. This is one of the tips that could be most important to you. Being in the wrong place at the right time can cause serious injury and even death. Here are a few examples of what we're talking about. Make sure you're not in the path of oncoming traffic. This is true from the moment you arrive at work in the parking lot to sometimes the hive-like activity of your facility. And it's not just staying out of traffic. If you're someone that's operating vehicles, make sure you're not in an area that you're not supposed to be in. As someone on foot, there are or should be specific markings on where to travel. Don't become blind to signs and floor markings telling you where you can and can't go. Pay attention to where you're allowed to have your hands and arms. Areas with pinch or crush points are or should be clearly marked. When it comes to getting inside of machinery and or other areas where you need to stop production, make sure that you implement the proper lockout, tagout procedures needed to alert staff not to resume production. Make sure that you're always wearing the correct PPE, personal protection equipment, for the area that you're in. Even if you're allowed in an area, you need to be equipped properly. Some areas, although safe, may have security restrictions. Make sure that you're cleared to be in an area before entering. Now, there are probably dozens of other examples, but these are a great start to get you thinking. Stay in your own lane, and you'll greatly increase your chances of staying safe.
Before moving on, here's a word from one of our sponsors. If you've ever been to or worked in a warehouse, you know just how important safety is to both management and staff. It's almost impossible to go 10 steps without seeing safety tape, angles, signs, and/or safety products. It's these items that show us how to be safe and avoid danger in the workplace. And if you're looking for the best products to make this happen, look no further than Mighty Line. Mighty Line floor signs and floor markings offer the best industrial products out there. We're proud to have Mighty Line as the official floor sign and floor marking company for the Warehouse Safety Tips podcast and site. Go to mightylinetape.com/safety tips to request a sample pack of their incredible safety signs and floor markings. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Warehouse Safety Tips. If you visit warehousesafetytips.com, you'll find the show notes for this episode and access to all of our blog posts, previous podcasts, advertiser information, and much more. Thank you for listening to Warehouse Safety Tips, and have a safe day.